What's up, Turtle fans? I am the White Foot Soldier, and I am super excited to bring you an unboxing and review of the brand new TMNT Splinter vs. Baxter 2-pack by NECA. So again, along with the previously reviewed Krang, we received more figures that we did not think were going to come out until 2021. But these are indeed hitting shelves at Target, of course. And this pack, along with Krang, I mean, I'm anticipating these pretty much every single one that comes out. But these ones especially, because the Krang, you know, just brings back memory, of course, having the android body as a kid. My cousins had it, I played with it all the time. And then to finally get a Baxter that is cartoon accurate. You know, we have yet to receive one of those. So this guy looks dead on. I can't wait to take a closer look. And of course, the Turtles need their master Splinter, and he also looks excellent. So if we just check out the box art, we can see that it's the classic collection, normal box packaging with the window packaging there, and Splinter down here in the bottom, some artwork, Baxter there. Turn it on the side, we get Splinter with a book. Turn it on this side, we get Baxter, and then turn it on the back, and we get a picture of both figures with a couple of accessories, and then you can see some of the other figures in this line, and then a little bit of a write-up there. So, so let's not wait any longer. Let's break this open and see what we got here. Let's first start off by checking out the accessories and what this pack comes with. It comes with a pile of accessories. I mean, there are so many different things here, and they all are looking very cool. But first here, let's look at the hand swaps. Now we got the interchangeable hands here with 4 Baxters on my right, and then 5 Splinter hand swaps on the left. So you can see that there are some different grips there, and I'm not gonna actually take each individual one out. I'm just gonna leave them in here for now, but if I turn them on this side, we can see, for example, we've got some like trigger fingers for Baxter, kind of gripping hands. Splinter's got like a pointed finger there, also some gripping hands. So many different poses that you can do, of course, with these hand swaps, since they come with so many. And this is a cool accessory. It comes with a book. So on the outside, art, and we get the Renaissance artists here with Leonardo, Donatello, Michelangelo, and Raphael. Of course, that's where Splinter got the names for the 4 brothers. Some nice detailing, some paintwork on there, with some yellow and blue, of course. Even like looking at the top there, you can see they told the pages to make it look like that you could flip that book. And we also get a regular book here. It's kind of chewed up. Of course, being in the sewers, you can't imagine a book being well kept. Down there, we get the pages on the side. You can see the binding here with some gold around it. We also get a little rat. Now, I think this has more meaning to it, and I just can't recall. With so many episodes, sometimes things slip my mind with it, and it's been a while since I've seen some of the early ones. So this guy might have more meaning, or it just could be Splinter as, you know, the rat before he turned into, or the one that, you know, helped him turn into the rat. I almost was thinking like the different versions of the Turtles, but the 87 version, of course, Hamato Yoshi does turn into Splinter. So maybe this is the rat, actually, now that I'm thinking about it, that, you know, was around Hamato Yoshi that turned him into Splinter to begin with. So, but a lot of detail on that. You know, it's such a little figure, but you get the pink tail, kind of the almost pinkish hands and feet, the whiskers, and even the eyes have little black dots on it around the whites. We get a medallion necklace with a yin-yang on it. We also get a blaster here. Now this has a little bit of blue paint on it. Not a whole lot of detail, but a nice little accessory there. We also get a Doku plant. I recall this from the series, of course. All these accessories are from the series. They're not just random. There are reasons for it. It's just sometimes that, you know, it slips my mind where certain ones come into play. But this one's nicely detailed, you know, the petals on there. And then, you know, the vase down at the bottom is nicely painted there with the purple. So good looking Doku plant. We get Mikey in the gerbil form. So if you recall from the episode where we see Mikey as a gerbil, so that's neat. I can't really recall that episode. I kind of do. I'm sure that once I would see it again, but you can see the, you know, the orange bandana with Mikey, and yeah, some nice detail again on there, even some line work on that little guy. Now this accessory is one of my favorites here, the trans-dimensional gun. This dial doesn't actually turn. It looks like that it would, but it doesn't actually turn. But you can see the different animals that Baxter could turn you into, basically, if he wanted to. So that's neat. We get obviously turtle, cat, and some other animals there. But that's a really neat accessory, you know, that goes along with this, that just, you know, again, is accurate with the cartoon. Some nice detailing on it overall, some different paint apps and whatnot. So again, this is really cool. And speaking of transmutation, here is a transmutated Shredder fly. So if you recall, in the cartoon series as well, Shredder, you know, in fly form. So just again, a lot of detail on this, and I don't know how well it's being picked up on the camera, but you know, we get even his little armor on his shoulders, the helmet, of course, the big bug eyes, wings, and his cape even on there. So that's a really neat little piece to go along with this set. And now I saw this accessory before, and I'm really glad that we did get this, because this is something that, you know, I do remember, you know, from the cartoon series for sure. This is something that hasn't slipped my mind. The pan-dimensional spacecraft computer, aka Z, of course. So it has some artificial intelligence in there, and if you move it, you can actually see he's got some different expressions. So that's the kind of face that I recall seeing, that was the mischievous look. But there's just some different faces you can do with it, which is really neat. A lot of detail with the keyboard down there. And then it looks like maybe, you know, this could attach to something. I'm not sure, you know, what to see going forward, what that would attach to, but he did have a body, I recall, too, in at least one of the episodes. So I don't know, you know, if that's something for the future. Maybe we would get a body that we connect to that. Not real sure, but there's a lot of different paint on there. Kind of even some old school, like it, you know how old computers almost get like yellow looking, that they were white and they almost get yellow looking. So that's kind of what that reminds me of there. We get a sword as well, and the neat thing about the sword, of course, it has the neat kind of wrapping or handle covering down there. But it actually comes with flames too, so you can have the flaming sword, and if you just look, there's a little hole there and it goes right up in. So that's a sweet accessory there that I wasn't expecting. That's just a translucent, like orange plastic there, and now it's not real tight. It just kind of comes out pretty easily and does kind of swing around, so it's not super tight there. But if you're, you know, posing Splinter with it or any of the other figures, you know, you could get it to where it's not flipping around. Like, it doesn't spin the whole way around, it just doesn't fit super snug. Get a scroll as well, and that's a nice piece with some writing on it. Nice detail, again, more paint apps. So a lot of detail. I mean, NECA just hammers it with these figures and this line in general. It's almost hard to believe that we have this. There's just so many cool figures and so many accessories, and they just jam-pack these with accessories, and especially this set. And the cool thing is, they're not just throwing junk in here. You know, this stuff is highly detailed, and it's, you know, cartoon accurate. It's not just a bunch of crap just thrown in there and just being like, well, you know, you pay 50 bucks because we throw all this stuff in there. No, you're getting your money's worth. This stuff is legit. And of course, what would Splinter be without his walking stick or cane? A lot of nice tolling there. This thing is really, you know, looks old even, just like Splinter. So I think that's, they nailed that for sure. Get some black lines kind of down in there, and then the darker brown overall. And honestly, this might be my favorite accessory, because this is a dojo mat. And, you know, you could really do some neat poses with this with Splinter. You know, you can even see him sitting there in the cartoon. So, and what I like about it most is that it's foam. It's not paper. So this isn't going to rip. You know, this isn't just thrown in there and, you know, whatever happens to it, happens to it. No, they took the time and made sure, you know, that they put it on felt. And we get the bamboo pieces there. So just, you know, the purple on the back. But that's gonna look really nice whenever, you know, put the turtles and Splinter, or put Splinter and the turtles around them. So that's a really neat piece that I didn't actually realize came with this set. All right, now let's finally have a look at the figures. Again, the sculpts are what really sticks out to me. NECA is just, again, I can't say enough good things about what they're doing. The Baxter just looks really, really great. I looked up, you know, some older pictures even, and everything lines up. I mean, it looks fantastic. very cartoon accurate, and that's something, again, that we have not had. So as a big time Turtles collector, it's really nice to finally have that. And of course, Splinter looks really good too. I think the scale is really good. We'll check out that later on with some of the other figures to see how these guys do line up. But I think that they hammered that out of the park as well. So let's first have a look at Baxter. And Baxter is cool because, again, the old school Playmates figure, we got the human hands. So this one actually comes with the fly hands. Now closed fist, of course, we get some different hand swaps with this guy, but the ones that come on him are closed fist. And he comes in his attire that he wears in the cartoon, with kind of like the bow tie at the top and kind of the dress, what do I want to say, like a sweater vest, and then a collared shirt underneath. Get a lot of great line work on this guy. Good colors. Of course, we get the shading. If you turn him kind of on the side, you can see the different shading for the shadowing. What stands out too, at least for me, is that head sculpt. Really, really nice work there with the big eyes, the colors. Some of the paint's a little bit sloppy on this guy. You'll see on his arm there. And on his shoulder, there's a little black line. And then around the eyes, the red kind of comes out a little bit over top of there. And it's not the smoothest. But other than that, I mean, the sculpt looks just amazing. So again, the big, bug eyes, and then the open mouth, kind of the little whisker type of things, the nostrils. That hair is just amazing looking too. It is like rubbery, but just all that little detail. He had that big head of blonde hair, dirty blonde hair in the cartoon. So that they, like I said, they just really did a nice job on that. And we can just kind of move that. You can see the articulation there with that. Really moves back and forth pretty well, side to side a little bit, can look up. Maybe not too far up. I'm gonna say maybe could have made him look up a little bit further, but still pretty good overall. We'll check out the articulation here after we check out the back, because I wanted to point out the wings. So the wings have hinges on them, as you can see, and they are a plastic. They also swivel around, and the extra arms or claws actually are hinges as well. And it's neat too, because if you look at his shirt there, you can see it's cut, like almost like the wings flew through his shirt, just like they should have. So that looks really neat. Just the little extra detail there is nice, and get some line work on the wings, some different tooling on there. So yeah, so this guy's looking excellent. Coming down to the feet, we get the two-toed feet there. Some line work on those, just fully colored purple, or fully purple. So yeah, so let's check out the articulation then. So we started with the head, we already did that. We already checked out the wings and the arms and the back. We get a ball joint in the shoulder with this guy. We get some hinges in the elbow, and actually he gets really can get that arm up there. So there's a lot of movement in that arm, so that's nice. Get hinges in the wrists. Now, they're always tight, of course, out of the packaging, but they're there if I can't quite get them, but they are there. And then they swivel around as well. In the waist, we kind of get some movement in the waist, back and forth, and then obviously side to side. Now, something I do want to point out too, this is not a hard plastic, so I don't know how much, if we can even see up underneath there, there's not a whole lot to his abdomen. It's a rubber shirt. So that's actually rubber that goes around underneath or over top of his body there. And then the arms, come out, and they are hard, plastic, but that is really squishy. You can even hear that. And then coming on down to the legs, then we get the ball joint in the legs. And this guy, let me kind of move that up so we can move him. This guy gets some pretty good movement in his legs there, up by the hip. And then we get the double jointed or double hinged knees. A little bit hard to, there we go. A little bit hard there, but we got double jointed or double hinged knees. And then coming down, we get some rotation there. Get side to side a little bit. Yeah. So you can see that actually pretty good there, but then you get that hinge there, and some of the paint, is falling off just because they are freshly painted. So this guy really has a lot of articulation, especially for a small figure like that. We get his jeans that are kind of ripped up by the feet. But I think we talked about, you know, most of the details. If you even look at the old cartoon pictures, it's cool because you can see the glare on his eyes, that white there, and that's something that, you know, sticks out. And then kind of like the fuzz around his forehead and whatnot, some grooves there between the eyes. So this guy is just really, really amazing. I'm super pumped to get this. I did not expect to even see this year. And it's just, like I said, a really, really nice figure. So let's set him off to the side and we'll check out Splinter next. All right, so we get a really cartoon accurate Splinter. Again, you know, with NECA doing a nice job with the accuracy. We didn't have, you know, Playmates had the kimono and stuff, you know, but the eyes, they were kind of more based off of the comics when you actually look at the figures, you know, with kind of the meaner looking white eyes. So this guy, I think, is definitely more accurate to the fun-loving Turtles of the '87 cartoon. So again, I just mentioned the kimono there, so we'll talk about that. That's a nice piece. It is cloth, and then we get a wrap there at the top, or like a belt. Now that should come down a little bit. I don't know if it's connected to anything. No, it looks like you can't slide that down. I was gonna say, so that needed to slide down. It was up by his chest area. That should be more down by his waist. But yeah, but the kimono is nice, good color. We get the emblems on the top there. Turn him over on the back, get the back look. We do get shading there, and now his whole body's pretty furry overall, because of course he is a rat. So that nice sculpt work. The facial expression looks good. And the mouth actually opens up too and is articulated. So that's something that you might miss if you're just looking at him. You kind of can't tell, but his mouth does open up, so that's neat. And we get some good paint in there. Let me see if I can get it back open. Get his tongue, and even the roof of his mouth is painted like a pinkish red. So, and then we get the two front teeth, the black nose, some nice line work. That head sculpt, they nailed that. With, you know, the fur on the side, but kind of like to show his face is not super furry. Get, again, the line work, as I had said, the black lines. Good pointed ears there. What else do we got? Eyes look good. Kind of almost like a, not a mean look, but almost like like he's not happy or something there with his eyes kind of lifted up. The body underneath this is just, you know, the fur. So, again, I mean, there's no reason to have anything else. So, but they did actually, you know, go the distance, and, you know, if you wanted to have him have an open kimono, you can see that he does have the fur on there. So, so now that that's open, we'll just run down through the articulation. We kind of get this an extra piece there. Is that connected to the neck? A little bit of an extra piece, I think, yeah, down by the neck area. So that moves pretty well. Let me close his mouth, and we can look up. And it goes pretty far up, kind of like Baxter, not too far, but far enough. Side to side there. We also get some movement in his chest. So that kind of rocks back and forth and swivels. So his waist doesn't swivel. It's more like up toward his chest. And then I'm not going to take his kimono off, but he does have a lot of movement in his arms, a little bit hindered by the kimono, but not too bad. If I just lift this up here, you can see he does have a double hinged elbow joint. So it's really skinny though too. So I want to be careful with that, because that is, you know, really, really skinny and could be a little bit fragile. Get swivels in the wrist, hinges in the wrists. Of course, those pop out because of the interchangeable hands. Coming on down to the legs, we also get movement up in the hips. Those move around pretty good. So he can do some karate kicks and really get up there. If you guys have, you know, actually he might be able to, because his feet are so flat. That's something I did want to talk about. We'll talk about that right after we get down through the articulation. But we get the double hinged knees again, and that's not really showing it very well, but it is there. And we also get kind of rocking back and forth on there with the feet, and we get a hinge on the bottom, or by the foot there as well. So those wraps look really nice too. There's not shading or anything on them. Like, it's not like they're white up here, and then you know how usually there is you know, some shadowing between the paints. Those are just a solid white with some black lines on there, but they look good. Now these feet are really flat, and of course they have the peg holes on the bottoms, but these feet are really flat. Oh, I forgot to mention, those actually, I think those move, but his toes curl. So there we go. So his toes curl there too. So that's something that did kind of miss there. But his feet are really flat, so this guy's gonna stand well, which is good because, you know, I always hate when figures don't stand well and then they fall and get damaged. So this guy's gonna be good with that. You're not gonna have to worry about it. Swinging back over to the tail, we also get some movement in the tail, which is nice because the movie Splinter is just like straight down and it's just like, okay, well, how am I supposed to pose him? Not this guy. You can actually move that up and move it around pretty good. And it's actually, it doesn't come out of his back. It's kind of below there on the bottom. And it has a little bit of a wire in there too. So you can kind of swing that around, and then it has some line work on it. So really well done. Again, like I said, it's nice to be able to have him be able to, you know, not be hindered by a straight tail that's gonna block him from, you know, standing properly. So, did I miss anything there? I don't think so. These, obviously the hands that come on it are more open, so you can maybe get something in there, maybe an accessory. I think you're gonna wanna put a different hand on there if you want to, you know, grab a hold of anything. Let's see, I think I pretty much covered everything there. Let's kind of do a full rotation of them. And so let's bring over one of the turtles here and we'll kind of set up and you can see the scale of these guys. All right, so there they are scaled up against Raphael. It's funny, I always use Raphael because he's right on the edge of my shelf, so he's easy to grab a hold of there. But you can see that, you know, he is taller than these two, which is screen accurate. If you look, you know, Splinter is smaller than the four brothers, and of course Baxter's just a little guy as well. So I would say this scale is dead on. Again, with NECA, I keep, you know, hyping them up because there's a reason to. I mean, they're just really taking into account, you know, the scale, the paint apps, the different things that are accurate, you know, as far as accessories go even too. So just really doing a great job overall. Well, I hope you guys are as excited as I am about these two. A ton of accessories again. The sculpts are fantastic, cartoon accuracy. NECA just doing an awesome job. Can't wait to see what 21 brings for us. Who knows what he might come out here before 2021. Never know what surprises we might get. Thank you, NECA. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and please subscribe for more TMNT news and reviews.